let's look back on the first day of the Test match here at Lord's between Pakistan and England. A day that belongs perhaps to neither side or both sides. In total contrast to the entirety of the Headingley Test match, where the game never fluctuated once. It was grabbed hold of by England, and then they kept their grip on it all the way through from the first ball to the last. Here, Pakistan, upon winning the toss, a good toss to win on what turned out to be quite a lively pitch under grey skies. We had a very gloomy morning. There's a lot of rain around, and they made initially the most of that with breakthroughs for Mohammed Abbas. He picked up 3 early wickets, and England have closed, though, at 248 for 9. It's very hard to know exactly whether that's a good score, a medium score, a bad score. But luckily, I've got Pakistan international cricketer Ramiz Raja. I've got England captain Michael Vaughan. I've got Jonathan Agnew alongside me to chew the cud. Jonathan, I'll start with you first. 248 for 9, that is a middling score or a good score? What is it?
Yeah, I think Pakistan looked back at a bit of a missed opportunity. 70 off for 4 with Root and Brook out. That was an opportunity, wasn't it? The ball nibbling about. I mean, it was so humid and oppressive and heavy out there when Babar Azam won the toss. There were perfect bowling conditions, grass at the pitch, and pretty decent attack session with Mohammed Abbas, one of the best in the business probably for exploiting that. So to get 4 down and those 2 out, I think that Pakistan might think they've just missed a chance. So they missed a couple of catches on the way through. But that I think they might have felt they could have bowled England out for 170 from there, and the two big players out. So I think I'm giving the day to England actually. Only narrowly, but I think that they'll, from having been from that position to get where they are, I think they'll be pretty happy with that.
Lunch at 80 for 4, Ramiz, and you must have been absolutely delighted because it was doom and gloom at Headingley. How have you assessed how Pakistan have bounced back in this game today?
I think they've done reasonably well because let's not forget, I mean, it's a medium-paced bowling attack. So once the shine is off the new ball, then it becomes difficult for them to roll over teams. That has been the pattern. So they'd be pretty happy with 248 for 9 because, yes, they had window of opportunity, and obviously, you know, it was good batting from England in that period where runs had dried up, but they batted sensibly. So, I mean, from where they were on day one in Headingley to 248 for 9, they'd be pretty happy with it, actually.
I mean, you mentioned runs dried up, Ramiz. Michael, is this what post-Baz ball looks like? Because at 80 for 4, Jordan Cox had got 38 off 38 at that point, and there'd been a bit of a counter-attack despite the wickets falling. And then after lunch, there was a quite definite go-slow. Jordan Cox at that point got 6 runs of his next 48 balls. He was joined by Dan Lawrence, who ended up with 17 off 41. They did dig in, didn't they? And that didn't seem like we've ever seen that in the last 4 years.
No, I mean, I think you look at the day's play, and I think England will be absolutely delighted to get to 248 from 70 for 4. I agree with Agas. I think Pakistan will probably not accept in that dressing room at the minute that they've missed chances and they've kind of let a good situation kind of roll away from them. But you know, I think Jordan Cox looks a fine player. He looks like a very well balanced. He looks to me like he's got the right shots to the better bowlers, which is going to be important when he comes against better attacks. He seems to have the calmness about it. He'd be disappointed to get out because he got to 50-odd last week and got out, got to 50-odd this week and gets out, and your currency is hundreds, you know, whoever you play for. But, you know, I get a feeling that 248, I think that's quite a big score on this kind of pitch. You mentioned Pakistan at Headingley didn't get past 200. Well, they're going to have to get past 200 in the first innings to put this England side under pressure. And I just think that extra little bit of pace. Mohammed Ali bowled a little spell in the afternoon when he started to bowl a bit quicker. And he started to get the ball zipping through, and I just thought, oh, wait a minute, when Joffrey's doing that tomorrow, and when Josh Tong's doing that tomorrow, and Gus Atkinson's doing that tomorrow, and Ollie Robinson, we know with the new ball, will be a major threat. I think there's plenty in this wicket, and I would give this, I wouldn't say that they're a long way ahead of the game, England, but I think they're ahead of the game by the fact that they've got 248, and it was really down to Jamie Smith, because Jamie Smith came out and played like the Jamie Smith that we saw at the start of his Test career. Just made it look very, very easy, both sides of the wicket, really beautifully balanced. And that innings today for Jamie Smith, I mean, I've read a few articles that, you know, there's a bit of a question mark over Jamie Smith. I don't see that at all in terms of his position in the side. I have watched his keeper, and we spoke to Sarah Taylor pre-match this morning, and just basically congratulate her. So you're doing a great job with Jamie Smith, because his keeping's rock solid. You're always going to go through little periods in your Test career where you don't quite get the runs. But what I saw in terms of balance today from Jamie Smith, that leg side flick. I always think when he's playing that leg side flick, he's in a really good position with his head. And he was the key for England today, getting to that 248.
And batsmen who make flying starts to their careers, as he did, you're going to have a dip. You are going to have a dip, and it's how you come out of that dip, isn't it? And I like the fact that his keeping definitely has been worked on and looks really solid, because all-rounders, well, usually batsmen and bowling all-rounders, aren't they? But if one aspect of the game goes well, it generally means that actually the other part does too, because you relax a bit and you're not searching, you're not looking for something, trying to find form or whatever it is maybe. But one does tend to complement the other, and I think it's no surprise that he kept wicket really well at Headingley, standing up, not easy. He's working very hard with Sarah Taylor. We've seen that, and now he's scored some nice runs too. That's not a coincidence, I think.
What I want to highlight, though, is that it was 2 Test matches ago we were at Trent Bridge, and that was after an incident. This is a Test match straight after an incident. The way England played at Trent Bridge was almost insane. I mean, on the last couple of days,
totally insane.
It was. Yes, it was. It was almost like burning down the church, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that the way England batted today is the way that Joe Root wants England to be batting?
Yes. And it was at Headingley as well. I think the way they played at Headingley was the Joe Root blueprint. And
is that the right one for Test cricket?
Yes, of course, absolutely it is. I think one of the main criticisms of the last couple of years has been that there has been absolutely no thought of actually getting into the trenches a bit and soaking up some pressure and putting pressure on the opposition that way, rather than just blazing away and trying to hack yourself out of trouble. This is how you do it in Test cricket. You get your head down, you work hard.
Well, it's intriguing that you're saying that this is a new style of play, and I understand where you're coming from, because we saw a dogged England batting display mid-afternoon when they suddenly started to bowl nicely. Pakistan, the left-arm spinner, bowled a terrific spell from the pavilion end. Mohammed Abbas started to bowl dots. You thought, this is proper Test match cricket. They scored at 4.43 throughout the day, so they have players that has been the frustration really in Bazball, that because they have players that can catch up quickly, they don't have to always go on the ultra-aggressive approach, because you can see off, particularly if you're playing Pakistan. Again, I'm not disrespecting Muhammad Ali, he bowled quite nicely at times today, and Quram Shahzad, I think they're okay, but if you're playing Pakistan, you go, see off Mohammed Abbas, and the left-arm spinner on a pitch like this, he shouldn't be causing too many problems. He might bowl 2 or 3 good overs, and you're not going to score off him, but you kind of know the longer that you play against him, you will get a cut shot and you will get a pull shot, because he's not going to be able to hang in on that length all day long. And that's the way that you play against this attack. So I think a bit of sense, but the sensible side of batting at Headingley still scored at over 4.4s, and the sensible side of batting here at Lords has scored at 4.43s. So
it was kind of in flurries, though, wasn't it? That was what was interesting, because it seemed to respond to the tempo, the requirements of the
Cox
game,
didn't he? I mean, Cox offered a run a ball, and then he really dug in. They bowled very well at him too. They set good fields. They tried to put pressure on him that way, but he said, "No, not having any of this. I'll just keep playing." And that's 5 days to play a Test match, And so I'm much happier with this approach. It's much more likely to bring success.
As for Pakistan, Ramiz, you must have been delighted by a lot of things worked. The plan for getting out Joe Root, forcing him back into his crease, Rizwan up to the stumps quite early. The moment that Root was on strike, it was clear that was a plan that they were going to do, and it was executed perfectly. They got their wicket. They got their reviews right.
Yeah.
They looked like a much more cohesive team this
That's
time.
right, and that could be because they've got a leader back playing for them. So he's a regular leader, Babar Azam, that helps. Also, after winning the toss, the onus was on Pakistan to make it count, and I thought they were really focused in that first session. Only if they fielded a bit better. I mean, they allowed a couple of chances to slip through their hands, and that caused them a lot of distress in a way, because it broke the rhythm. England were looking for a rhythm that was broken by some tight bowling, but England did not throw away that partnership by playing recklessly. I think that was the important phase of the day for me, where England just dug in, trench mentality, as August was saying, and making sure that the wicket do not fall. And then when the opportunity came, because once that ball got older, it became easier to bat. And that's the problem with Pakistan bowling attack. They do not have a 90 miles an hour guy who can come back and give you wickets after it's 50 overs old.
They've also only got 3 seamers. I mean, and it was interesting. I know Salman Ali Agha is not a seamer, but he's another person who can bowl some overs.
Yeah.
And the change in Pakistan's lineup today was Babar Azam came in for the man who'd captained in the previous test and taken out another part-time bowler.
I mean, Saud Shakil could have been made the 12th man. He didn't look that convincing in that last, but maybe they needed a left-hander out there. But Salman Ali Agha, I don't know, his feeling. Maybe he opted out himself because his progress in Test cricket has been below par.
It's a very un-Pakistan bowling attack, this really, isn't it?
It is.
It's more like sort of Indian bowling attack of the 1970s.
Yeah, Madan Lal and Kirsten Ghavri.
Absolutely. There's no reverse swing. There's no pace.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, you wouldn't
So
get a
this
reverse
is
swing
like,
today.
I remember, who was the coach then? Might have been Bob Woolmer.
Oh, right.
So I met him. He had Mohammad Asif with him. And Asif hadn't played a single match for Pakistan. And he introduced me to Asif and he said, he's going to be a great bowler. And my first question to Bob was, how fast is he? He says around 130. I said, he can't be a fast bowler. I mean, Pakistan is renowned for pace.
Yeah.
It's another thing that he became a great bowler because of that length that he bowled. But, you know, we're so used to seeing 90 miles an hour, and suddenly it puts me off completely, you know, watching Pakistan play
It's your
cricket like
identity.
this.
It's your
So I've
identity,
been part of the teams where we absolutely derail opposition with sheer pace, you know, 95 miles an hour, reverse swinging, yorkers, bouncers. I mean, the 2 lengths that we bowled was yorker and bouncer. There's no length bowling as such. There's no respite. There's no, like, hang on a second, you know, we're going to make sure that we don't leak runs in this session. Nothing of that sort. We were on the attack all the time.
And this Ramesh, is where the coaches, the captain, and the group have to get together as a whole and realise this is what they've got.
Yeah.
So how they're going to compete with what they have is, and I'm staggered that I keep watching, and Mohammed Rizwan is reluctant to come up to the stumps.
Yeah.
That tactic has got Joe Root out 4 times this summer. Joe Root has been out LBW 8 times in his last 7 test matches. Joe Root walks out there to face Mohammed Abbas, and Rizwan's back.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that going, tactically, what are you doing?
It came up today, though, didn't it?
Well,
It came up very quickly.
but not right at the start. You know, he is reluctant to come up to the stumps. You know, why isn't he up to the stumps to Karam Shahzad at times, to Muhammad Ali at times? You looked at Blundell for New Zealand. He was up to all their seamers. You know, Matt Henry's not slow, and he was up there because he knew it was the right tactic to deliver. And if Pakistan are going to continue to go with this kind of pace, with this kind of skill set, I think that's something that Rizwan's going to have to buy into for the team to become that kind of the leader of the gang. You know, you've got to create a theatre, and I think, you know, the likes of Brook and Joe Root have struggled with that tactic all summer, and they seem reluctant to try and produce it against this England side.
Michael, Ramesh, we need to let you both go because you have other duties to perform. Just to run you through that scorecard, Amidio Gay is becoming a little bit of a concern. The manner of his dismissal, caught down the leg side, doesn't really indicate whether he's got a particular technical flaw, but
his head's just going a bit. His head is just going to that offside a bit. But he's got some lovely shots, you know. I mean, I really hope he gets a score and breaks through, because his offside strokes are beautiful.
He played a couple of lovely cover drives today, didn't he? Phil Tufnell's just joined us. Ben Duckett looked quite sprightly for his 17, and an amazing LBW decision. I mean, I don't think anybody watching it thought it was out, and then when we saw the replay, we thought it wasn't out, and then it turns out that this ball defied the laws of physics, and we're going to hit the top of off stump.
Computer says yes. Yeah.
Poor old Ben Duckett wandered off shaking his head. Joe Root we've discussed, done basically by the ball, been doing him time and time again. Harry Brook played a pretty sort of measured knock again today, and batting
a loose shot at the end.
A loose shot at the end, but batting in difficult conditions. Dan Lawrence, 17 off 41. You've mentioned Jamie Smith. It's a cameo from Gus Atkinson. A couple of quick wickets, and the best shot of the day. Jofra Archer 6 into the pavilion, probably. Tough as that took our breath away, didn't it?
Well, absolutely. Just decided to pop out of the bunker and just pop him straight back over mid-off's head, wasn't it? Yeah, great shot. But I think they'll be happy, Pakistan. But just as you say, I was listening earlier to John. You know, just a slight missed opportunity. You always get the feeling when you see a fielding side where they sort of are, aren't they? There's a fantastic catch and a run out, but just a little bit sloppy in those areas. But a good day's cricket, considering we thought it was going to be raining all day.
But also from where they were. You see, this is the thing, and I do understand where you're coming from. 248 for 9 does feel on this surface, with England's bowling attack and crucially with Pakistan's batting lineup, that's going to be, you know, quite a formidable score perhaps. But where Pakistan were, if we go back to the end of the Headingley Test, I mean, I was just reading nothing but despair. I was listening to poor Atif and Ramiz on air. I was reading Daniel Razul in Cricinfo. Every article of his, I mean, I think the latest one finished with the word abyss, which was where it described Pakistan.
As opposed to a bass. I think I'm interviewing tomorrow.
Right.
Well, sometimes you need a little bit on your side, don't you? And Pakistan got that this morning. We were all thinking, coming away from that, the only way that this Pakistan side can come back into this series is by winning the toss and on a bit of an overcast day and getting a few out. And that's what happened.
Well, one of the people who took those early wickets is with Alison Mitchell. She's with Mohammed Abbas.
Mohammed, well bowled today. You enjoy bowling here at Lord's, don't you?
Yeah, obviously this is my favorite ground. I played first test match at 2018, so I was man of the match. So after that I came here with Leicestershire, so I'm always enjoying bowling here.
When the coin toss went up and Babar Azam had the choice, it sounded like it was a clear-cut decision to bowl first today.
Yes, I think the pitch was covered. The rain was early morning till almost midday, so that's why we were thinking, so we will choose bowl first.
Has the day gone according to your plan, albeit a couple of dropped catches, but the wickets kept falling?
Yeah, this is a part of cricket, so we are not remembering those things. So as a professional, we have to look forward and just keep going.
And it must have felt like a bit of a dream score when you had England 4 down going into the lunch break.
Yes, we were very happy, and we had a meeting upstairs. So our coach said just stick to the plan and bowled out as soon as possible. So we tried well, but I think they scored a little bit more. I think the Smith played well, but still we are happy. So they are 9 down right now.
Joe Root is always a huge wicket to get. How much planning has gone into that idea of Mohammad Rizwan coming up to the stumps to Joe Root in particular?
Yeah, he's a little bit struggling. He's a big player, so always when we are getting his wicket, so always very good for the opposition. So we had a plan about him and every player. So we got success from there.
How is it that you get so much control over the ball? What is your particular attribute that enable you to move the ball in the way that you do?
To be honest, I played lots of cricket, almost 220 first-class cricket, and around 30 odd test matches. So we are playing domestic cricket in Pakistan in different cities, in different conditions. So and I am playing county cricket here in different conditions. So I took lots of things from there. So these things are helping me in test cricket.
Yeah, what do you think your biggest learnings have been from your stints with Hampshire, Nottinghamshire, Leicestershire, Derbyshire?
Yes, it's been very good. I came first time with Leicestershire, so I played one game, then I played test matches. After that, 2 years I spent there, and after that I spent 4 years at Hampshire, so I took lots of experience from there. Our bowling attack was good, and last year I was more than happy because of we were the champion. When I was with Nottinghamshire. Right now I am working with Mickey Arthur. He was with us when we played here. So I took experience from there, so I'm trying to give everything in test cricket.
And are you able to pass some of that experience on to the other bowlers in your unit who perhaps haven't bowled so much in England?
Yes, I am as a senior, so I am thinking, so these guys are my small brothers. So I am giving the things who I get from first-class cricket and from county cricket, and just I am asking them, so just assess the conditions and bowl accordingly. Even we are just chatting with each other in practice and in the games as well.
And just looking ahead to tomorrow, it'll be the batters' opportunity. You felt that Jamie Smith batted well. England maybe got a few more than you would have liked today. What do you think the batters will have learned from watching the way England went about it today?
I just spent time on the pitch. I think they took some experience from the last game as well. So they are thinking about the mistakes. They will learn and they will put score on the board, so then we can bowl again.
Good luck tomorrow. Well done today.
Thank you.
That was Mohammed Abbas with Alison Mitchell. He seems pretty happy. He's the leader of the attack. He's got all these learnings from playing in county cricket. He's
a
seen it
character.
all.
He's a character as well, isn't he? I love the fact there he is, 76, 77 miles an hour. He's chirping away at the bats. With, it's like a little terrier, isn't he? He's there all the time and he's nibbling about on a length. Terrific bowler. Really is.
Old bit of old school, John, really,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is.
It's just, come on, we'll...
Derek Shackleton.
I'll hit the top of off stump, and what you're going to do
Well,
about
also,
it?
actually, also Mohamed Asif, which was mentioned by Ram earlier, similar pace, and he does most of his work in the last couple of yards, doesn't he? It's what happens at the end. Not
But I go back to the point you made.
It.
This is a very un-Pakistan attack. How are they going to pull people out in Pakistan on those pitches with an attack like this? They've got some problems. They've got to find some pace.
Well,
they've got to find some reverse swing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the great bowlers from Pakistan didn't really use the surface, did they?
No.
They sort of cut
Fast,
that out.
full, bang. That's it. They've all did it. All going all the way back to Asif Masood coming in off his bendy run down here. They've always had fast bowlers, and they're not
And wrist spin as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they baked the pitches the last time they played England, and that was how they decided it was going to work there, Sajid Khan and whatnot, but that's not going to work here, is it?
No.
Just a quick word on the pitch, though, because when we came here, there was the spectre of the pitch against New Zealand hanging over our heads. It's a very different-looking surface, which was, I'm not saying it's a surprise. You would expect it to be very different after all the hullabaloo, but we've had a very, very dry summer. And actually, we turned up and found really quite a green, grassy pitch, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, I do have a bit of thing about pitches because there's 20 pitches, probably more than that out there, and a groundsman can produce what he wants. So I've always felt a little bit awkward about data for runs on a pitch because it's probably a different pitch prepared in a different way to the one that was played on the year before. This is 3 strips away from the one that New Zealand was played on, but it does look completely different. The one I went out there for the toss for the New Zealand match. I thought, what is that? But of course they'd had so much rain they couldn't get on it. I think it's more. I don't know anything about being a groundsman, but I suspect it's probably easier when you've had hot, dry weather, but access to water, which Lords clearly have because you can see it, because you can control things a bit more. Then you can see a forecast, and you know it's going to be dry, so therefore you're safe watering. But when there's just rain and rain and rain, you don't know when it's not going to rain and when it's going to stop. I think that's probably more difficult as a groundsman to plot a test match starting on that particular day, and that's what they had against New Zealand. But it did look a very odd strip, whereas this looks like a normal pitch to me, albeit with quite a lot of grass on it.
Lords, I found, having played here for 20 odd years, it goes through phases. Lords,
oh, yes.
Sometimes
It's like the human condition.
Well,
really.
yes. No, it does. It's sort of. It changes, Lords, overhead conditions. You can almost feel it when there's a cloud brewing up. All of a sudden, it does a little bit.
Well, it did, didn't it, later today
absolutely.
when the clouds came over?
Yeah, so
it's
one of those pitches that's always had that little bit of slope on it. And so when there is just something that's not quite right, it seems to accentuate it, doesn't it?
Yeah. But because a team got bowled out for 350 last year, doesn't mean to say someone's going to score 350 this year, does it? I
Absolutely.
mean, it's completely different.
It is. Every time you turn up to Lords, you're not quite sure where you get. I mean, I saw, Joe Root got a fantastic 180 all those years ago. Smith getting double hundreds here. It goes through sort of quiet periods, and then all of a sudden it just seems to come alive.
Do you think this is one of those ones that's going to get better, like we saw in the World Test Championship final last year?
Unlikely. No. I mean, it might be a bit drier and a bit easier tomorrow. I would have thought, but there's rain again due on Saturday, so you just feel that the weather actually could play quite a part in the conditions for this match all the way through. Given that there is quite a decent covering of green grass on there, I don't think we're going to see a brown strip at the end. I think it's always going to be nibbling around.
And England's
and when we saw, and we were commenting, and we saw a lot of shots that you're sort of looking to play through, sort of like a mid-wicket or a mid-on, that just all of a sudden sort of hit an outside edge and go to cover. And so that might just be a little bit stoppy. So it might quicken up a little bit tomorrow.
I think it will. Yeah.
Well, before we say goodbye, we could get Jamie Smith, who's been speaking to Alison Mitchell.
Jamie, well batted today. What was your assessment of the overall day for England?
Yeah, I guess overall it's been a good day for us. Being inserted on that surface, I think we knew that it'd be a little bit tricky. Lords is always a bit tricky at times with the over conditions, and the ball seemed to do enough throughout the day's play there. And also credit to Pakistan, I thought they bowled nicely. Took a few early wickets up top, which put us under a bit of pressure. But yeah, overall very pleased to be in that position.
Mohammed, well bowled today. You enjoy bowling here at Lords, don't you?
Yeah, obviously this is my favorite ground. I played first test match at 2018, so I was man of the match. So after that I came here with Leicestershire, so I'm always enjoying bowling here.
You had such a fast start to your career with the bat. Have you felt over the recent innings that you want to be getting some more big scores under your belt?
Yeah, it's been a well-registered fact, I guess, for myself, that I haven't quite got the runs in a short period of time that I would have liked. So yeah, to get a 50 today and a little bit more rhythm in my batting, I think that was the most important thing. I didn't feel great at the start, and I felt sort of built into it as the innings went on. So slightly disappointed to get out when I felt I was batting on my best, but to contribute and to put a score on the board is what your currency is as a batsman. So it's nice to finish on 60. Yeah.
That was a very happy Jamie Smith talking to Alison Mitchell. He batted very well today. Jamie Smith did just the job that England wanted him to do down at number 7, and was certainly the most fluent of England's batters today, notwithstanding Jordan Cox's first 38 runs. I've got Andy Zaltzman alongside me. What statistical oddities have you found today?
Well, let's start with Smith. That was his highest score in his last 12 tests since he had an extraordinary game at Edgbaston against India last year when he made 184 not out and 88 in the match, which from memory was the most runs ever by a wicketkeeper in a test match. Jordan Cox, another good innings from him, 55, back-to-back 50s. He's reached 25 in his first 4 innings of his test career, and in the last 50 years, only 2 other England players have done that, Jonathan Trott and David Gower. That's going back to David Steele, who did it in just over 50 years ago. So those were the 2 big pluses for England with the bat. Joe Root, LBW again, as Michael mentioned a short while ago. That's the 8th time in his last 7 tests he's been out LBW to a seamer. Once every 89 balls of seam that he's faced since the start of the Melbourne test, he's been out LBW. And to put that in context, in his previous 39 tests, he'd been LBW to a fast bowler just 3 times, once every 1,137 balls. So yes, a bit of a technical glitch. So we talked about the last 4 have all been with the wicketkeeper standing up. The first 4 in that sequence were with the keeper standing back. So yeah, I don't know quite how to interpret that.
Have people worked out wobble seam? Because it seems that it's the nip backer that's getting him time and time again. And it's doing quite a lot of people actually at the moment.
Yes, but that's been around for a while, and it obviously wasn't working against him previously. But anyway, that's those are the numbers on Root and his pads. Mohammed Abbas, 3 wickets in his opening spell, including Root. Looking at opposition opening bowlers who've taken 3 wickets in the opening spell of a test in England. The last to do so was Tim Murtagh for Ireland on this ground, out of 5 for 13 opening spell in the first innings of the match. So this is just looking at the opening innings of the match. Before that, Mohammed Asif in 2006 at the Oval, 3 for 39. And the list of bowlers before that, since the early 70s, some of the greats of bowling: Courtney Walsh, Glenn McGrath, Imran Khan, Kapil Dev, Terry Alderman, Colin Croft, Dennis Lilly, and that takes us back to Bob Massey in the match in 1972 here, when he took 8 in both innings, including 3 wickets in his opening spell on the first day. Muhammad Ali hit the stumps twice in the 53rd over, and that's the second earliest in the Lord's Test that anyone's hit the stumps twice in an over.
Maybe he does sting like a bee after all.
Yeah, the only bowler who's done so earlier in a Test match, Dan, would you believe? Mohammed Nisar for India in their first Test at Lords in 1932, bowled out 2 players in the 3rd over of the game.
I remember it well.
So again, it's hard to interpret this, and we talked about the recent pitches at Lords. This is sort of in line with the trend. Over the last 15 tests, we've seen around about 26 runs per wicket at Lords, and a wicket every 46, 47 balls. So this 248 for 9 in 56 overs, in line with that. And to sort of highlight that is that 46.7 balls per wicket at Lords in the last 15 tests before this one, the lowest such figure ever at a Test ground over a 15 test sequence. So it has been a very difficult place to bat. So 248 for 9 might prove to be a useful score.
It might, but I dare say the authorities here will be delighted. It's probably not going to be a 160 over match, and at the very least especially with a bit of weather around, we're going to get to a third day, you'd imagine.
Well, just on the Pakistan seamers, the lateral movement, the ball tracking data shows that they've had the third most out of the 41 innings, first innings of tests in the database at Lords. So we're getting a lot of lateral movement off the pitch, not so much in the air. Again, that suggests that score might not be too bad.
Well, and it also suggests it could be hard work for Pakistan tomorrow against England's quartet of seamers.